Good afternoon, Australia. Welcome to another edition of 7 Stars. I'm your host, Shark. Let's kick off the show with my highlights from round 3 match of the round. Last week's match of the round was between Chelsea Heights and Mordialloc, the Bloods at Breezy Street Reserve in Chelsea. Chelsea went out winners 131, defeated the Bloods 38. And early enough in the third or final quarter there was a melee because this Mordialloc player stepped on the Chelsea guy's head. It was an exciting game, wasn't a big crowd there. Now we're going across to some footage of round 3's match between Chelsea Heights and the Bloods Mordialloc. Good afternoon, welcome to Breezy Reserve in Chelsea for the big game. Round 3 matchup, Chelsea versus the Bloods. It should be a cracking game. Chelsea didn't win the premiership last year, they tried to, but the Bloods fell in a hole in the semi-final. My tip is Chelsea by 10 points, and the crowd doesn't look that big here. We're only about 80 people here. And let's get into it and have a nice day.
Matheson may have been pushed out of it, no free kick coming. Jaden Addo's got the ball, he handballs out to Matheson. Matheson's got some space in the far forward pocket, right hand side. The goal umpire likes it. They've got an early one, the first one down there for Chelsea Heights to Phil Matheson. His first of the afternoon, they go 1 goal clear after only 26 seconds of play.
Through is Flack. Flack kicks the ball up to centre half forward, and it's a good mark there to Darren Walsh, and Darren Walsh will have a shot for goal about 40 metres out. He decides to play on, and he's dobbed it. He has put it through. The defenders there were a bit slow off the mark, and he decided to seize the opportunity.
Last week's special guest was Craig Davenport, the head goal umpire of the SFL. He done the 3 tips of umpire and it's check it out. This week's special guest star is Craig Davenport, the head goal umpire of the SFL. And who's the tip for the game today, Craig? I'm going Chelsea by 10 points.
Heights are doing very well at the moment. There's only a kick in it. I'll say Chelsea Heights by 3 points in the thriller.
How did you get involved with the SFL?
Well, basically I got involved through, at the time, our head coach was Lee Keane, who was the head coach of the goal umpires of the Southern Football League, and I was umpiring at VFL, and had a bit of trouble injury-wise, and I thought, well, I'd come down, so I rang Lee, said if he'd like to have another goal umpiring ranks, and he said, by all means, come down.
What's the best part of doing your job?
Well, probably the best part of doing the job really is it's fun, you love the game, there's a lot of good people involved in all the clubs, and I'd say the best part of the job really is just week to week meeting a lot of good people who have common interests and really enjoy local football.
How can young people get involved in goal umpiring in the SFL?
For anyone that's interested in me to come down, we've got training and there's some good coaches down there, so if you want to come down and get involved, by all means.
What's your prediction for the SFL integrity?
I think really in Division 1, I think it's out of pretty well 3 teams. I think Chelsea Heights, St Kilda City and probably St Paul's. There's a lot of other clubs that have been very competitive, but I think they would be the best 3. Yes. I think the premiership would probably come out of those 3. But you never know. Football's a funny game.
Who do you follow in the AFL and who will win the flag this year?
I'm actually a Swan. I used to follow South before they went to Sydney and stayed with them.
Swan?
Yes. And the other one, who do I think is going to win the AFL Grand Final? My mind...
Don't do it, Craig.
My mind says Geelong. My heart says, because 2/3 of my family follow the team, my heart says St Kilda.
Thanks, Craig. You're going to give us some tips how to do the goal umpire said no.
Oh, all right then. Well, basically, for a goal, it's feet together, stand still, okay, arms by your side. Now, elbows in, and do a full circle around. I'll just do it slowly, and it finishes out here. So the end result is something like this.
Shocking.
We need some more time, I think.
Thanks, Craig Davenport. Now it's time for last week's results. And now I've got results for round 3. We've got Cheltenham 34, went down to St Kilda City 140 at Cheltenham. Toronto Melbourne 72 beat the Dingoes 57, only by 3 goals. Good game. St Paul's East Bentley beat East Brighton 90 to 80 at McKinnon Reserve. Cross the over 7-11, get your Slurpees. And Everton had a big win 104 to 50. Beat Swindwell just at Ryan's old mob there. Now it's time for round 4. Around the ground. Let's go around the grounds. Chelsea odds at St Paul's East Bentley at Beach Reserve. My tip is it's going to be a great game there. Well, I'm going to go for St Paul's East Bentley by 10 points. Another big game at Ross Street. The Tunners versus St Kilda City at Ross Street. No, I'm going for St Kilda City. It'll be too strong, mate. Denry versus Mordialloc at Souter Oval. I'm going for Denry in that one. Mordialloc, they won't be in the finals this year. They got Scotland. Denry should win that just under 5 points. Swindell disorders to Toronto Melbourne. Well, Ryan said not to do it. Oh, well, I'm going St Kilda Swindell disorders by a point. Well, don't do it. Toronto Melbourne's going there and Swindell will get their first win. The match of the round this week is East Brighton and Cheltenham. Well, I'm going for that Cheltenham. Cheltenham by a point in that one again. So 2 1-point games, Steve. Now it's time for Don't Get Me Started. And we're trying to talk about the Melbourne Storm because what they did. Well, it's been in the papers that the Melbourne Storm, they've been taking their 2 premierships off them, but if they win it this year, they will not get a point. That's right, Adam, isn't it? They don't get a point. The salary cap was paying them too much, and they cheated. Could you manage if Collingwood was over the salary? Joffa would go up the wall, that gold jacket, goal. Collingwood fans wouldn't turn up if that went over the salary cap. My AFL tips for this week. A 48,000 crowd will enter the Telstra Dome on Friday. Bullers and St Kilda. I reckon the Bullers will absolutely smash them, mate. Win that by 6 goals. That little Stephen Milne he's a bloody show off to the crowd, I can tell you that. The next game is North Melbourne and Melbourne. Jim Steins will be at the game. Well, Melbourne should win that by... Melbourne should win the game for Jim and they'll be 4 in a row. What a great start to the year. Next game is Adams Mob up against the Lions Saturday night. I know they're number 1 but they won't be for long. I don't know who to pick in that game yet, so I'll just say Brisbane at the I'm going to say a draw in that game. Our first draw for 2010. The next game is Essendon and Hawthorn. The Bombers should be too strong for Hawthorn. 3-man football club up against the Eagles. Well, I'm tipping that another bloody draw. 2 draws. Adelaide and Port Adelaide. Whoa. If I tip another draw, that's shocking, right? I don't know, because Adelaide just sits until they can just get out of the finals for good. They're not even in it. No, I reckon Port Adelaide by 3 points with a shot in the silent to Brett Ebert to win the game. The next one, I couldn't pick an upset against our bloody team, Steve. Don't you dare. John, 89 points over Richmond. Don't even turn up, Tigers fans, because you won't be getting the chocolates this way. The Carlton Mob up against Collingwood. Pies 56. Pies should win that by 10 goals, easy. Thanks, Stephen George, for our director. Here's my email on the screen, gaze10@hotmail.com. You can ask me anything you want. What I eat, what team I support. I don't care what you ask. But nothing rude. The 7 Stars is brought to you by AC Media and Hopton Institute of TAFE. Remember to stay sharp. We'll see you next week.